Hi, friends, I'm Anna, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. We are going to do something a little bit different. Normally, when I come to you, I'm sharing some kind of craft project or craft tip with you, which I love, and I'm so glad that you watch along. But today, I am going to share something that's been on my heart for at least several weeks. And we're just going to take a little break this week. It's a big week, right? There's a lot happening. This time of year is so busy. It gets crazy with gifts and presents and cooking and gathering, and all of the things have to be just so, and we have to spend the same amount on all the people, so I need one more gift for this person and something else for this person, and it's a lot. And I know while it's a lot for some, it is very quiet and lonely and the opposite for others. uh, so wherever you're at this week, I hope you'll just take a couple of minutes and sit with me and chat. So, a lot of you know that this year, I shared earlier in the year, for those of you who watch along with my videos, that life has been pretty hard. I shared some things about what's going on in my family, what's been going on in my family, that things have just been hard. And the reason I have chosen to share this is because it's on my heart that I should be sharing to help others who may be going through similar things. And my husband is in support of this. Of course, I made sure that he was supportive as well. But things have been hard. We got married almost 5 years ago. We have a blended family. We have 4 kids from ages 9 to 19. In my last video, when I said their ages, I was wrong. I was having one of those mom moments, and I forgot one of their ages. It's okay. It happens. So difficult ages in general, what I'm told from those of you, your own birthed children, that those ages are difficult. And then marriage is hard, right? It's hard. If you've done it, you know it's hard no matter what, even if you're married to an amazing person. So things have been hard, and it really took a toll on me. It really took a toll on my health. And this is something I haven't talked about as much. I haven't even talked about this a lot with a lot of people close to me. So if you're wondering why I haven't shared some of this, it's okay. Just ask. I don't have anything to hide. I'm happy to talk about it in person. I just, when you have casual conversations with people, it's not always the time to like unload everything that's going on in your life on them, right? So things really took a toll on my health, and this has been building my entire life. I can see that. Even as a kid, I did not feel well, and I had signs of not being healthy as a child. And as my adult life has been a bit of a roller coaster, very, very difficult, like lots of different instances of times where I did not know how I was going to keep going and how I was going to get through this current circumstance. I used to be able to say like the most difficult period of my life was X, and now there's so many of them. It's like I can't even attempt to pick one. Like all these things have been so difficult. I don't know. And I know I am not alone. I am not here to talk about me. I am here to hopefully share some things to encourage you and help you. So my health, things have gotten not great. If I go to the doctor, nothing is diagnosed. I'm fine. My blood tests are fine, like all of this. But I'm not. I don't feel fine. And I've begun kind of a personal quest for answers. And I know a lot of people out there get to this point. Sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes we keep searching for answers the traditional way. But a lot of times people, maybe you're not feeling great, or something is wrong with your body or your mind. You know something is wrong and you're just not getting any answers. So I've kind of been on a quest. I've been on a special diet for a year. A lot of you know that. But let's see, several months ago, I found out my thyroid is not working right. And I'm told that the most prescribed medicine in the US now is a thyroid medicine, and that this is kind of an epidemic going on of people who are having thyroid problems. So I've been doing a bunch of reading about it. I'm looking into like natural ways of healing it. There are natural ways, if you're unaware. A lot of people have had success with various things. So I'm learning about that. I'm finding out There is a reason I have zero energy, and a lot of days I feel like I cannot even get out of bed. And sometimes I get out of bed and put my child on the bus and I go back to bed because I feel terrible. And there's some other things going on as well, but been on this quest. I am learning so much. And I hope, if you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe. I do the crafting stuff, but I'm also starting to share about life every week and talk about some things going on, to hopefully, that my point in any of these things I share besides crafting is to hopefully help at least one of you, hopefully several of you, with wellness, health, faith, hope. We're talking about hope today. I know I haven't gotten there yet, but that is what I want to talk about. So I hope you'll stick with me, because we all go through hard things, and I feel a bigger calling. I love crafting, and I know those of you who watch along, I really appreciate your encouragement and your positive comments about the things I share. And I'm hoping some of these extra things I'm going to be sharing will help as well. So I've been going through hard things. I know so many of you out there are going through hard things. I get your comments, I get your emails, the conversations I have with people. Things are difficult. And I think, like, has everyone always struggled to the degree that people are struggling right now? And I don't know. I can't answer that question, but I am realizing how much people are struggling. So whatever you're struggling with today, I hope you'll stick around and watch the next few minutes, and maybe you'll hear something that could possibly help you. But I know we have so many people are struggling with health. So many people are struggling with mental health, depression, anxiety, fear. We're struggling financially. We're struggling with the things going on in the world around us. Some of us continue listening and watching what's going on. Some of us have chosen to turn it off and not to fill our minds with that stuff, because if we're struggling with depression, anxiety, fear, whatever, it can be too much. It can be too much to handle. So financial struggles, all kinds of things, relationships, marriages, kids, friends. There's so many things that there's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. And then I think a lot of things are trickling down into our personal lives that are affecting some of the things I've just said. So what we're talking about, the reason I want to talk about this is hope. So do you have hope? And several years ago, I realized my hope, for the most part, to a large degree, was in the wrong places. Several years ago, I started becoming more aware of things going on in the world. I think a lot of us have kind of been in that place. But I started really digging and finding out information and things that don't make the news, like the news that doesn't make the news that if you want to find out, it's really hard to find, but started getting a better perspective on what's actually going on in the world. And at that point, I started experiencing a low level of anxiety. I will not call it high. I know a lot of people are struggling with a lot of anxiety. So I started struggling with some anxiety. And what I realized was my hope was in things like my confidence in the safety of our country and my confidence that our government's going to take care of us. My hope was in the money in my bank account and my retirement account. My hope was in the things I had been taught as truth through science or school or college or whatever the things. Like, my hope was in, like, I felt secure based on my confidence in these things I've just mentioned. And as I started realizing a lot of those things were false, or some of the things like my bank account, like, that's not as secure as I always thought it was. Like my retirement fund, things like that. Like, I started realizing that could go away in an instant and I can't do anything about it, but where I came to from all of this, through this personal journey, we all have these personal journeys and they bring us often to new and better places, right? These difficult things that we go through, become better and more whole people as a result. I know I feel that way, and I hear that from some of you as well. But so where I came to was, where can I put my hope? I can put my hope in one place, and that is in the Lord to take care of me. So if you're watching and you do not have faith and you don't believe in God, I would encourage you to stick with me for a second. I do not have all the answers. I am not here to push anything on anyone. I am here to share things that have helped me because I want to help others. So this week, what's Christmas all about? It's about the presents and that, like, how much time do we put into the gatherings and the presents and the food and the cards? I put a lot of time into cards. I send a lot of cards out. I won't tell you how many. But we put all this time into these things. But is that what it's all about? And in our minds, and to a degree in reality, it's about people. Like, we're trying to show people how much we care. I send a lot of cards to people because I want to thank those that support what I do. And I want to send cheerful greetings to lots of friends and family. Like, it's not, we do these things for the people, right? But sometimes it gets a little bit out of control. But what is this week really about? What are we celebrating? And what we should be celebrating is the hope that comes from the birth of a little baby that came to save all of us from our sins. And I know we are coming from all different places. I have a lot of strong believers who watch along with my videos, and I thank you for your encouragement. But I know that some of you watching, you're like, that is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. How can you even possibly believe that? How have you been brainwashed? Or there's so many different responses to this. Some of you have been hurt by faith. Some of you have been hurt by churches. Some of you have been hurt by people who claim to be strong Christians. And how do we respond to those things? A lot of times we respond by turning away. And I get it. I've had different periods in my life where I've been more and less faithful. But what I started realizing here the last few years was that is where I have to turn. That is where I have to put my hope. Because when I look at the world and I see what's going on and I see the uncertainty and the what ifs and the pain happening around me, just in, families and friends and personal situations, that is the only place I can put my faith and keep walking forward every day with a positive mindset. So, where is your hope? Let's talk about, so this baby that was born, a little over 2,000 years ago, I think. How can we possibly believe that this world was made by a God, that he sent himself in human form as a baby to save us? How can we possibly believe that? It's nonsense, right? Like, how can you believe that? And if you can walk through this world and be like, that's like the biggest nonsense, I don't know how people can believe that, or maybe you just don't think about it. It's so easy to be wrapped up in our lives and focus on the day to day and not think about the bigger picture, not think about where we're headed when what we see and what we're doing here in this place comes to an end. So I get it if that's where you're at. I have always been a believer. I was raised in a Christian family. I have always felt the Lord's presence in my life to varying degrees. It can go long periods, and it's like, God, where are you, and why are you not showing up? I'm praying, I'm reading my Bible, although a lot of times in my life I haven't even been good about those things. But where are you, and why am I experiencing this pain, this terrible situation, and what good could possibly come out of this? But friends, if you are in a place where you have not experienced the Lord's presence, I encourage you to do one of two things. I encourage you, one, to open your heart and mind and start talking and start asking. God, if you're there, I want to know. I want to talk to you. I want to invite you into my heart and have a relationship with you. So that's one step. Another step is, for some of you, you like want facts and proof. And I get it. I look at this world and I don't believe most things I hear unless I do some digging and like look into them, because I've realized how many things are not true that we are told are true. And so I get it. I'm like you if you don't just believe things like this. But there are some, I would encourage you to start doing some digging into the factual side, the history side of these things. There are some books I really recommend. The Case for Christ, The Case for Faith, The Case for Heaven. There might be some more of those, but that's kind of an interesting place to start, where a non-believer went out on a quest to, I believe the story is, prove his wife wrong. She was a believer. And long story short, in doing all the digging and going through the history and the facts, he became a believer. And there are lots of stories of people like this that set out to prove it wrong and end up their life is changed because of what they find out. So friends, this week, as we navigate the busyness, and for some of us, the happiness and the excitement, and for some of us, the quietness and the loneliness and the sadness and the heartache of someone who's not with you, or the heartache of someone who you're afraid you're going to lose, whatever it is, friends, my Christmas wish and my Christmas prayer for you is that you are 100% confident in where your hope lies. Merry Christmas to you. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe. This is not what I talk about most of the time, but if you're on a quest for wellness, living a better life, and if you want to know about crafting as well, we're going to be doing all of these things. So thank you for watching along, my friends. I wish you well.